Hey, Sierra, how's it going? It's Attorney W. You goddamn right. They don't call him Ace for nothing. Wait, no, that's not probably what it. You know what I mean? Listen, you're finishing up my food right here in a second. We'll at least get halfway through it before I start. I want to start too late though. Yeah, I was gonna say if you did you take gumshoe, and I was like, oh wait, you definitely did. You definitely a gumshoe person. I'm trying to wonder who I would take if I would. And Apollo Justice, I'll probably take Apollo Justice, but in like the original trilogy, I don't know who I'd take. Maybe Larry Butts. Okay, we're almost done with that song. Maybe enough progress for me to start playing. Oh, I think I burnt that meat. Fuck. There we go. You thought it was Apollo Justice. But it was actually. Oh, wait, hold on. Which one do I want? I want this one. Yes. The two-parter case. The two-caser. I thought I had one case left over, and I was like, wait, that makes no sense. I actually have two cases, but it's one episode. And that's the whole truth of this case. Let's go, baby! The most complicated episode of all Ace Attorney? How's Apollo Justice been? I haven't played it at all. It's really good. Um, it's interesting to see, like, right, be this kind of like savant. He's no longer the idiot savant. He's kind of just the savant, you know. And then after that, after this, you go to Dual Destinies. He's back to kind of being like a semi-idiot savant, but mostly like a savant. But like, he's like really cool in this. He has a hat. He has a sweatshirt on. Oh, that's also Apollo Justice. And this whole entire case is about, because you know this game was about Apollo Justice, but this whole entire last case, last two cases are all Wraith and Apollo Justice themed together. And then you find out because like Wright's been like missing the whole entire time for the past couple games, the past couple cases, like doing other things, and he's like, I'm doing my own secret mission. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? And then you find out what he's doing during this case, or these two sets of cases, we'll say, because one's a flashback, but the second case we'll get to after that. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Fucking smart motherfucker. Shrewd, clever motherfucker. Hey Apollo, look, on TV. Look. Yeah, I'm kind of busy. Whoa, look at that. He's the last Grammary? Does it pronounce it? Grammary. Alright, amazing. Apollo, you should be watching this. What? I was writing about a last case in my journal. Lawyers are supposed to write things in records, Apollo, not journals. And why now? That case was 3 months ago. Holy shit. Wizard girl. Now she's got her robe and wizard hat. She's a magician. I want to vacuum pack the feel of the moment for later. And she's also Phoenix Wright's adopted daughter. Right now, I'm wowing the crowd by figuring out how Lamy Roy disappeared. That's right, Uncle Valent did that illusion too. You're missing him on TV right now. I was just getting to the good part. What you're now seeing is a rehearsal for the greatest magic show on Earth. Oops. Am I fucking okay? But the Sunshine Coliseum. Oh, the Sunshine Coliseum. Hey, that's where the Gavineers concert was. Only 3 more days until miracles happen here, right before your unbelieving eyes. I don't know why I'm doing this voice for that. The legendary troupe Grammyway is performing for the first time in 7 years. That lady in the middle looks familiar. That's going to be great. I'm so there. You and Daddy are coming too. I've got the tickets and everything. Here's yours, Apollo. Ah, you're here. Working hard or hardly working. It's the man himself! Look how fucking cool he looks! He looks like a deadbeat, but he looks like a cool deadbeat. I think it's the eyes. He always looks like he's just like chilling now. Hi there, stranger. How's it going, Trucy? Here, I got a present for you. Yay, pudding! I love pudding. Oh, it's farm fresh. And not just 1 pudding, but 3 whole cups. I'll have to pace myself. Well, I'm beat. That's right, Daddy. You're on a top secret mission. You gotta take it easy with the secrets, you know. How right you are. You still can't tell us what your mission is? Maybe it is time, but it has something to do with you anyway. God, what does he give you? What does he give you what? Give you what? Oh, with me? Maybe you're getting a top secret mission too. Maybe you can be one of those guys. A spy. To be honest, telling you about the mission was my whole reason. Why does he give me a good time? Oh, good God. This man is at least taken by at least 2 possible people. Eventually. Possibly. If he wanted to. Telling you about the mission was my whole reason for coming here today. Either Edgeworth or he'll probably be taken by whichever one of the 2 sisters was not trying to kill him. Tell me. You've heard of the jury system, yes? About to make it 3. Man, gotta hear him now. The jury system. That's right. The new legal system everyone's talking about. Have you heard of it, Apollo? Huh? Maybe? Maybe not as many people are talking about it as I thought. Let me show you my badge. I cannot believe I accidentally hit something when I wasn't supposed to. What have I done? Present. There we go. Ah, presenting, are we? I did my fair share of that back in the day. Showed my attorney's badge a lot too. He may look cool and calm now, but you should have seen him before. You know me too well, Trucy. I don't understand how they go in the future games when he becomes an attorney again. He becomes a lot like less cool again. I don't understand. I did my fair share of that back in the day. Showed my attorney's badge. Oh, same thing. Alright, well, if that's the case, I guess we're just gonna have to talk about the jury system. So, Daddy, what's this jury system thing? Well, Trucy, do you know what a jury is? I've heard of it. Isn't that those people who sit in court in those old courtroom dramas? The ones who get to decide if a guy's innocent or guilty? Do you know, Apollo? Only from TV. It's 12 people chosen from the community, right? I really do need to watch 12 Angry Men. Well, they're thinking about reviving that system. They're calling the new system the jurist system. No more doing whatever you like, Your Honor. Not quite like that harsh. The jurors cooperate with the judge. They help and analyze the case from different angles. Ah, there'll be only 6 of them under the current proposal, right? Wow, you know your stuff, Apollo. Their findings directly affect the verdict. Hopefully, people will start taking the courts a little more seriously now. I feel like I'm on some kind of educational TV show, starring Dr. Wright. Dr. Wright, his assistant Trucy, and mascot Apollo are the perfect team. So, what is this secret mission? The juror system is my mission, more or less. Anyway, keep in mind that new ideas like this system are always risky, Apollo. Too true. Everyone's got an opinion and they just talk and nothing gets decided. Kinda like you, Apollo. I'm not that bad, am I? In any case, we're going to give it a shot. A test, if you will. I don't like tests. Neither do I. We'll take a case as a sample and choose 6 jurors. I'll be the one helping with that process, incidentally. Helping how? Well, for one, I'll be chair of the juror system simulated court committee. The chair constructs the ideal situation, choosing the case, the jurors' candidates, even the judge, and the courtroom. It's like you have a real job. I was never that good at the piano, to be honest. I wonder who got him hooked up with that job. The trial's tomorrow, by the way. Don't miss it. The trial simulation, that is. A simulation, huh? Sounds interesting. So, what kind of case is the trial simulation about? Well, since it's the first run-through of a new system, I wanted something simple. Good thinking. No sense wearing yourself out on something too serious. True. The case is a murder. That's not simple at all. By simple, did you mean that the defendant is guilty? Yes, most likely. So good luck, Apollo. With what? With the trial tomorrow. You're defending, of course. Recall that I said it had something to do with you. Right, you piece of shit. It's just a test case anyway, no sweat. Yeah, but there's still a verdict to be decided. And a potentially serious sentence. The most serious in a worst case scenario. You mean the verdict's for real? That's not a test trial, that's a real trial. All the forms have been filed, there's no turning back now. The trial begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. Hope you can make room in your schedule. Why am I only hearing about this now? Ah, yes, there was a change this morning. I picked a new case. Something that happened last night. Apollo, I know you are excited about that secret mission. But what about this? The Troop Grammary, Grand Magic Show. Oh, right. The card tricks. They're not card tricks. The Grand Illusions, Miracles. Okay. Super really fast. So what? That's 3 whole days from now. It's at Sunshine Coliseum. Let's go. Let's go today. We can say hi to Uncle Ballant. Have fun. What? I can't go by myself? You know I'm not very outgoing. Right. Why not go with her? But what about the secret mission? Oh, don't worry about that. You'll hear all about it tomorrow regardless. Yippee, now you can take me to the Coliseum. Grammary. That reminds me. What's this, Daddy? Isn't that silk hat the Grammary seal? Consider it a birthday present, Trucy. Thanks, it's great. But today isn't my birthday. Good point. What day is it today, Apollo? Today? I think it's Recycle Your Plastics Day. Then it's Recycle Your Plastics Present. Smooth thing. Smooth dad moves right there. Yippee, so it's plastic. So what is it? Can I open it, Daddy? No. Huh? You'll need that envelope someday. Someday soon. Don't open it until then. Well, why didn't you just hold on to it until then? Envelope about the Grammarys, huh? Alright, so what case are you going to use? You really want to know, don't you? Of course I do. I mean, I'm going to be defending, aren't I? If all goes well, then yes, of course, this is just a test. We wanted everyone to start without preconceptions, a blank slate as it were. There's a difference between having a blank slate and being totally clueless. Whose dumb idea was this at anyway? Well, mine. Committee chair, remember? Oh. Well, if you want to know that badly, I suppose. I can give you permission to examine the scene of the crime. Good. That's better. I'm kind of biased, but whatever. But you can't talk to anyone involved with the case. What? Then how am I supposed to defend? You let me worry about the details there. Remember, I'm in charge of this trial. All of it. But you don't want it to backfire, do you? Apollo, if I am in charge of the whole trial, That means the entire affair is my responsibility, for good or for bad. I think it's the 5 o'clock shadow. I think the 5 o'clock shadow what makes him cool. That in the hat. And you don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Alright. I'm recommending going down to the detention center. Your client's waiting for you. You can ask about the scene there. But you just said I couldn't talk to anyone involved. Oh, you can talk to your client. If you can get her to talk. Well, time is wasting. Alrighty. Can I present this to see if there's anything different? Okay, nothing there. Let's go to the detention center first. Case first, then other part of case. No. Oh. It's 20 minutes we've been waiting here. 20 minutes. Maybe I should complain? I'm sure that guard has better things to do than stand there pretending he doesn't see us. You know, the minute we get angry, the client will show. It always works that way. Like shouting, "Oh, waiter," and they're suddenly standing right behind you. Oh, guard. Is our client going to be much longer? What are you talking about? Haven't you already started the meeting yet? Huh? Oh my god. So scared. Where'd you come from? Anyway, please have a seat. This meat tastes like mushroom a little bit. Not beyond that. I'm nervous, Apollo. It's the silence. It builds suspense. Why don't you do something, Trucy? You're a magician, aren't you? That's right. I'm the amazing Mr. Hat. Good job. Good job, you killed her. Good job. You have a new case on our hands. Miss Magic Underwear might have been a big better bet. That's Magic Panties, Apollo. See this here? Does it ring any bells? Okay, well, let's try talking to you. Hi. Well, I'm your defense. I really think it has to be fate, you know. And by fate, I mean destiny. Did you know I'm good with astrology? Tell me, what's your sign? Oh, man, dude. Even if she wasn't, that's not a good way to get someone to talk. Well, in real life, yeah. I could tell you mine if you like, Apollo. No, never mind. Just got carried away there. So what's your name? Oh, right. I'm supposed to introduce myself first. I'm Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, at law. And I'm Trucy Light. Right. I know. Okay. Hey, I know. Maybe you can tell us what happened. I'm a defense attorney after all. Anything out of the ordinary happened lately? Well, the other day, this tourist from out of town stopped to ask me directions. Later, Trucy. Doing your nails. Let's go, Trucy. Excuse me. Could you read this? Stop looking so blissful and read it, Apollo. It's a business card with a name and an address. Her name is Vera Misham. The address for True Studio. Can And you're giving me this card because... Well, looks like we're finished here. I wonder if Drew's studio is the scene of the crime. Let's go find out. Something's not adding up. Who was the... Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, no. Looks like a studio, alright. It's like life imitating art. Maybe it's the other way around. With a tape on the ground there. That's a bit jarring. Maybe because someone died here? I'm sorry, I'm eating because I'm not talking over these parts. I'm gonna finish up this. What was it? Frozen pot roast? That's not unfrozen. That one. Hey, it's Emma. Oh, I'm almost done. If you're still here, you might recognize Emma as being the defendant, the girl whose sister was a prosecutor at the end of the first game of Ace Attorney. This is her now grown up 10 years later? 10 years later from that case? Yeah. Oh, but that. There we go. Seems like I went into far too often. But I know why you're here too. You know about the trial simulation tomorrow? I've heard about it, sure. So Mr. Wright chose you, huh? You don't even know what the case is about. Well, he was killed. The artist who owns the studio, that is. Mr. Drew Misham. That's some good drink. And his daughter was put under arrest. We just saw her at the detention center. It was funny though. She seemed more like a victim than the kind of person who would commit a murder. You don't say. Not even by poisoning, that's how it was done, you know. Poisoning's a common way to get the job done when the murderer is a woman. Poisoning? That actually is correct. Anyway, Mr. Wright told me you'd be coming. Feel free to take a look around. I'll just be over here with my snackoos. Okay, so we can't really talk to her because she's involved with the crime as being the lead investigator, right? So, hey, there's a painting hidden back here. Hey, you're right. What if it's embarrassing somehow? He didn't want anyone to see it. It's a picture of SpongeBob at the Christmas party. You certainly seem pleased by the possibility. It's so normal. That's hardly something to get mad about. It looks just like the other painting. Doesn't this painting look like... Never mind. Okay, there's a door. There's a little thingy here. That letterbox looks funny sitting inside a room like this. Let's take a look. Empty. The other half of that letterbox is actually connected to the outside of the studio. Mr. Misham would put his letters in there, and the postman took them away. Impressive that someone still writes letters in these day and age. Or wrote, rather. That part was with my nose all stuffy. That's the victim's coffee mug. Aha, so the poison was in here. This is my first time seeing a real poisoned mug of coffee. I would hope so. Arsenic, cyanide, poison coffee? Not exactly, actually. What do you mean? No traces of poison were found in the coffee. What? You'd have to figure out the rest yourself. I'm officially not on your side after all. I think I remember actually how he died too. Imagine this coffee cup was for guests to use. Guess? The police already analyzed this cup too? Not a trace of poison was found on that cup. I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at those paintings. Okay. Those love oils, you know how they're so thick? Extra thick. Is that the word? These paintings are all dry. I'm just surprised at how different these all are. Yeah, and what's going on with this half-finished one? It must have been a work in progress. You can still see the rough sketch below. That's what's so weird. The sketch part doesn't really fit the finished parts. I noticed. Apollo, that's where the body was. That's the spot where Mr. Drew Mission passed away. He put the coffee mug to his lips, and the next moment, there's quite a bit of paint on the ground. See that half-painted painting over there? I'm assuming the one on the right. He must have been working on that right up to the moment he died. A true artist at the end. Or maybe he started it a year ago and was procrastinating. I don't think... if the death was instantaneous, I don't think that he was painting when he died, because then he wouldn't have any time to put on a coffee mug. Right? Okay. And on the interesting side on the right, look at all these paints, Apollo. There's so many. He's got like 20 times of red. We could repaint your suit, Apollo. How about this shade of green? That'd be enough of that, thanks. Let's take a closer look at this desk here. Okay, first off, something about the way that figure is posed. I've seen that pose before. It's you, Apollo. See, you're making one of your flamboyant gestures. Please, I'm a professional. Oh, my audio and video is gonna get unsynced. I can already tell. It's like stuttering just a little bit this stream. I don't know why. The capture card seems like it's fine, but And this little girl must be Vera. Yes, they took that some years ago. They look close, a happy little family. Until you arrested his daughter. Oof. Look, I was personally against that, okay? He just didn't seem very suspicious, scientifically speaking. Uh-huh. Right. What's in the small one? Oh, cute. Look at the tiny frame, Apollo. Tiny is right. That thing's barely 2 inches high. What picture would fit in that? None, apparently. It's empty. This is a lesson for us all. Be sure to check the size of your frames. Is this a journal? Talk about a clue. Let's read it. Is it empty? What is it, Apollo? He didn't write the name of the killer, did he? It's new. He didn't write a single line. You had me going for a while there. Ooh, an old quill. Hey, Apollo, what's this feather thingy? Isn't that a pen? It looks like an old-fashioned quill pen. But it doesn't have a pointy end. That was most likely for sweeping detritus off the desk. You mean like debris? Wow, you sure know a lot, Emma. Detritus. Hold on, fuck it. I'm just gonna look that up. Detritus. D-E-T-R-I-T-U. I think I spelled that wrong. Yeah, D-E-T-R-I-T-U-S. Means trash or debris. Usually refers to waste or junk of some kind, but it can actually mean an accumulation of material, not only man-made stuff. Loose gravel, silt, and sand can all be called detritus, and so can decompose organic matter like piles of dead leaves. Interesting. I'm surprised they don't use the word debris, but I guess it's more specific. bold and scientific. That's my motto. This envelope has been opened and resealed. I know how to do that. You take a pot of boiling water and hold the envelope up to the steam. The glue melted and opens. Cool, huh? Whoever did this wasn't so delicate. You're right, it looks like they just ripped it open and stuck it back together. Huh? The postmark in this letter is from 7 years ago. Why would someone open a letter and then seal it again? It's the stamp. I remember that was the stamp. What is all this equipment here for? Doesn't look very artistic, actually. He had everything from a lathe to a laser cutter. Looks like he was ready to work on metals and wood too, though his equipment's a bit old, to tell the truth. From the dust, I'd say he hasn't used this stuff for years. Interesting. But do you think I can borrow this? I want to cut a quarter in half to make a trick coin. This is a crime scene, Trucy. So yes, but these cost like $50 at the magic shop. They sell laser. Wait, do they sell laser cutters at the magic shop, or do they sell something else? Or do they sell the trick coin at the magic shop? Is this deck for painting Apollo? That'll be a drafting table. Drafting? Basically, it's a tool for making precise diagrams. Like for architecture people. Wow, painting is harder than I thought. Okay. I think we have everything we can get. Okay, so let's go back to, let's talk to you. So this Drew Misham was some kind of artist. Apparently, he did a lot of illustrations for books, I hear. Had a lot of female fans too, from what it's worth. Oh, well, I guess his stuff is kind of pretty. Like that oil painting over there, for instance. Yeah. That wasn't one of his illustrations, actually. He was an odd bird, Misham. Hadn't shown his face to anyone until the end. What do you mean, to anyone? He was always locked up here in his studio, apparently. His only connection to the outside world was through letters he'd put in that letterbox there. Letters? Do people still write letters? What do you mean, Apollo? I mean, when was the last time you wrote a real letter? When was the last time I wrote a real letter? Holy shit. I can't remember the last time I wrote a letter. Maybe like a thank you for like a gift or something, but even then that would have been like middle school or something. Cause now you can just text someone and be like, thank you for a gift. Like, thank you for the card. Man, holy shit. I know people still write letters because of the place where I work, we sell stamps and those sell out, but huh. Don't most people use the email and stuff these days? That Mr. Misham couldn't stand technology, it seems. He did everything by mail. Couldn't stand technology. It looks over on the right. Maybe he thought that way was more artistic, you know? In any case, the only person besides him allowed in here was his daughter, Vera. Oh, you mean the killer? The suspect, please. We took some fingerprints, of course. The only ones found in the room are Mr. Misham's and Vera's, basically. Basically? Actually, last night, Mr. Misham gave an interview to a reporter for the first time. It happened during the interview, apparently. His first interview ever? Could you tell us a bit about what happened the night of the murder? Okay, let's go through the rest of these first. So this woman, Vera. She's Mr. Misham's daughter, right? Yep, a real sickly girl, ever since she was little. Hardly ever went outside. She did kind of give off a withdrawn sort of aura. She was homeschooled by her father, apparently. It was quite a scene when they took her to the detention center. She was screaming about how she'd die if they took her outside. The Does sound like a scene. In the end, she agreed to leave if she was allowed to her good luck charm for company. Her good luck charm? Apparently, she has this charm that magically gives her the courage to go outside. But why would a shutting daughter kill her own dad? Don't look at me. So about the poison, it was found to be the coffee, right? No, not precisely. Not precisely. What does that mean? Like I said, last night was the first time someone from the outside came into the studio. I guess mysterious painters who never go outside and make for good articles. I mean, that's a good point. It's like if someone would have found out who, is it Andy Warhol? Is it Andy Warhol the one that like no one knows who they look like? Hold on. Look up Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol. Oh wait, no, they know who Andy Warhol looks like. Who's that famous painter that no one knows who they look like? Camera artist. Fuck. I guess mysterious painters who never go outside and make for good articles. It just so happened that he died the night of his first interview. Around 9 p.m. every night, Bear always made him a cup of coffee. Last night at 9 p.m., okay. Last night he drank his usual coffee and slowly became violently ill. And he died? She poisoned him on the night of his first interview? Wouldn't the reporter see? I guess take out the first there. He wasn't near Mr. Misham when she brought her father his coffee. He was checking out some equipment in the back of the room. Supposedly that's why she didn't notice he was here. It was a reporter who called the police, in fact. Wait, but why is she the suspect? If anyone's suspicious, it's the reporter. Yet the reporter never got near Mr. Misham's coffee. Even Vera acknowledges that. Interesting. Yeah, you need to tell me more about this reporter person. Don't forget, Flattery will get you everywhere with her, Apollo. Huh? What are you two whispering about? Well, I was thinking. I mean, what is it we always do when we run into you at the crime scene? What is it we always do, scientifically? Ah, you know me too well. Okay, meaning we can get scientific now? Oh, I suppose, just this once. Bring me everything you find suspicious and we'll check it out. Okay, so... Well, how about the hidden painting? Emma, I was wondering about this painting here. Ah, that one? What about it? What about it? Yeah, what about it, Apollo? Take a closer look at it, both of you. Now look at this once. This is the third painting he was working on. Hey, they're the same. I was hoping you wouldn't find that. You're right, though. Drew Misham was copying this painting. Wow, it's pretty good. Copying a painting, what for? Okay. Oh, that's painting. Oh, that's quite good, isn't it? That's not what I wanted to ask you about. You want to examine it, is that it? I'd be happy to let you if you had a good reason. But without that, sorry. Okay. Look on the back. Vera Mission D. What does the D mean? D is... No, goddammit. Oh, what a pretty business card. Looks like a postcard almost on the back. Look at her name. I feel like it's an anagram. I don't remember if it is. Interesting. What was it? Keeps on stuttering. Why do you keep stuttering? Well, this coffee mug. Hope you aren't trying to grill me for information. You know I'm not talking. I suppose you're the detective here. Why don't you two take a look at it yourselves? Find a clue, I might be unwilling to lend a hand. I think she's going to help us, Apollo. Let's check out this mug, shall we? Okay. Look there. That stain doesn't look so healthy, Apollo. That must be the Blue Mountain stuff we've been hearing about. Something tells me that even Blue Mountain coffee isn't this blue. No, this stain is probably... Okay. About this... That. Yes, that's the bright red envelope. She sure is jumpy. Someone opened this, didn't they? My lips are sealed. What? You mean you know what's inside the envelope? Sure, I read it after all. You mean you were the one who ripped this open? Please, I would have steamed it open. You know that I have a powerful weapon on my side. Weapon? This, the use of tools, highly specialized tools for information gathering. Tools I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. You should try flattering her, Apollo. They say a little praise can open big doors. About that envelope we found, I was wondering if you could help us out with that tool you were mentioning. You want to know about my tool, do you? It's called an X-ray analyzer. That sounds so cool. Like the X-rays you get at the dentist? That's right, at least that's what I call it. It has a real name, but it's much more complicated. The X-ray spectralization... something. How am I supposed to remember all that? So basically it lets you see inside things, like envelopes. That's right, you're sharp, Trucy. But it's a bit more complicated than that in practice, of course. Actually, to tell the truth, I'm not really sure how it works scientifically. Can I try it out, Emma, please? Oh, I suppose. Of course, I've already checked out everything suspicious myself. Alright, let's give it a spin, Apollo. Yarg. What are you doing? Oh, just seeing if I could see through your hair. But it's like lead. Point that thing at me anymore and it might fall out. But I wouldn't need an X-ray machine to see through it. Right, let's test it on a sample first. What does it happen to have a lottery ticket here? You set the sample in the device like so. I don't see anything. Patience, there's no need to get all antsy. Look at the right side of the screen. That's the layer view of the envelope. Layer view? You've got it set to display the outside of the envelope now, see? Actually, it's quicker to just give it a try. Turn that dial there with... Okay. That's right, that's how you choose what depth you want to scan. Hey, I got something. See, that's how you can read the letters on the ticket inside. Cool, huh? Except I can't read them. Just turn the dial a little more. What you have to understand is that a sheet of paper isn't really flat at all. When you zoom in on that much, you can see the paper is like a bunch of hills and valleys. Wow, really? This X-ray device uses a beam of a wavelength of only 0.05 microns. It breaks cards down into thin layers so it can only show what's written on that layer. I'm not entirely following you, but what good is it if you can't read anything? That's where we go into step 2. Try rubbing the image a bit if you would. Rubbing, like over the image with this? Holding A? There, that fixes the image on that screen. Now, turn the dial again just a little. Good, now you can rub this image to fix it too. Because they're on different layers. Okay, you do this until we've got the whole thing. Exactly, not bad. Neat, let's do some more. Okay. Lottery 016. Alright, I just hold down, okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's put this one out. Does this mean I have to buy another one to win? Well, it's Emma's ticket. Let her buy another one. It's okay, there's no need. But see, this is the true hidden power of my weapon. Neat, huh? Let's try it out on the real thing, shall we? Okay, so I go down to this stuff. Okay. Let's print this one out. Mr. Drew Misham a deposit of the $100,000. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. In the designated account, please send a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. Someone deposited $100,000 into Mr. Misham's account. His paintings must be really valuable. There's another page in there. Care to take a look? You bet I do. If we're going to read someone's mail, you better as well read it all. Here goes the second page then. Okay. Speedrun strats. Let's print this one out. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days, and need not remind you to speak of this to no one. So it was a letter about payment for one of his paintings. Why all the secrecy though? And what? Why was this letter the only one in here? It's 7 years old, right? Maybe it had some special significance to him? Well, Emma? Well, indeed. I remember it's the stamp. I remember the stamp was basically a ticking time bomb. It's just whenever you use the stamp, he gets it on his thing. And then he gets poisoned from the stamp. So he's already poisoned by the time he drinks the drink. But what prompts him to take the stamp? He puts the stamp into the little thingy, into the small frame, and that was in the small frame. I do remember that. But I don't remember what prompted him to use the stamp. Okay. Alright, well we can't. Okay, we can do anything with this and this. I know what I have to do with this. Okay. But no, take a look. Okay. Talk. Well, I mean, I got a lot out. So, what else can we look at? Examine. A court record. Oh, look at this painting. You can see the rough sketch. Looks like it was only half completed. That's funny. Do a rough sketch and the finished painting look totally different to you? They do, actually. Well, that's it. Get in with that. Okay, we got enough from this. We got from this. Okay. Okay. A pufferfish. What is this? What? Why is there a supper or dinner? Are they different meals of the same thing? Oh. Isn't, okay, which one is first? Supper or is it dinner? Because before I think they didn't have lunch. I think it was like breakfast, supper, and then dinner. I mean, dinner would be like the small one, and then supper would be the big one. I feel like I'm wrong about that, though. I wonder. Okay, so we can't do that. Okay, so she wants us to do stuff on our own. But I feel like we can't. We need to move. You're here to see Vera Misham? I guess she's being questioned. She's in the medical office at the moment. Oh. Is she okay? She's just lying down. Said she didn't feel so good. I'm sorry, but I can't allow any meetings at the moment. Most annoying client ever. You haven't met Matt and Guard. Guess we should come back. Oh, you haven't met Max Galactica. Jesus Christ, the second game had so many fucking annoying clients. Holy shit. That was a sneeze. This is it, Apollo. The place where magic and dreams converge. Use that sneeze. Holy flips. It's like I gave birth to a child with that sneeze. Just a while ago, it was a place where murder and nightmares converged. Let's go say hi to Uncle Valen. Do 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 do. Only a performer laughs like that. The young Miss Trucy. Do 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 do. Yep. How often I hoped we'd meet again, only to tell myself it was an impossible dream. How's it going? I'm glad to see you too. Of course you are. Well, Miss Trucy, how does the day find you? If you've come to give me flowers, do it after the show, I beg you. Actually, we came to wish you good luck. Congratulations on your big magic show. Oh, but it is I who wish to congratulate you. Not everyone is so lucky as to witness miracles such as the ones I shall perform. The world will watch in wonderment as magnificent illusions are reborn. Here on stage, by my hands. Okay. I was wondering if you could tell me about this. Why, that bears a Grammarly seal. Uncle Valen, is something wrong? Trucy, where did you get this? Oh, Daddy gave it to me. Your daddy? Your partner's like, no, my other daddy, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Why now? Why would your Lord Daddy? The signature upon the back, do you recognize it? That belongs to none other than Zach Grammarly. What? Daddy signed this? Might I be so bold as to open it? I'm sorry, but I can't allow you to do that. Okay. A challenge, is it? You want me to make that disappear? It's your fucking ticket. Yeah, make it disappear. I don't need to be here. Give it to me. No thanks. Apollo? What was that look just now? I was thinking how hard it was to get any information out of a magician. If I present my badge, does that make any difference? Nope. Oops. Fuck that up. Usually, well, I'm already here. Jeez, that food's good. Don't tell me you're going to make the Colosseum disappear, right? Paul, I can't believe you'd use your power perception on something like this. I was just a wild guess, really. Well, I guess we know. Magic show. The change in the science since our last case. It was all Gavineers back then, wasn't it? I hope nothing bizarre and mysterious happens this time. But it shall! Why, the show itself will be bizarre and mysterious, I assure you. I don't have a problem with mystery as long as it's legal. I don't think lawyers and magicians were really meant to have conversations like this. Another hot air balloon? Look, Apollo, a balloon. A hot air balloon. With a Gramarye seal on it, no less. Well, this is a long-awaited revival after all. And it's been 7 years, you know. I spent plenty of time and a pretty penny on promotion. I hope it's a huge success, Uncle Valent. Oh, I intend for it to be nothing less, I assure you. Bluebeetle, but we don't really care about the Bluebeetle right now. Okay, so let's talk about stuff. Everyone's talking about the big magic show. Is it true that the Gramarye Miracle is back after a 7-year absence? Miss Trucy, I must apologize. This show in this honor should have been his. That should have been him, not you. It's not fair. My co-magician in training, Zach Gramarye. If that terrible thing hadn't... It's okay. Your father was a great magician, Trucy. If he were alive, then I, Valent Gramarye, would have been proud to stand upon the stage as his assistant. Thanks, Uncle Valent. You know, I'm happy you're doing the show. To think we get to see the great Magnifie's illusions again. My mentor, the magnificent Magnifie Gramarye. Ah, magnificent Magnifie, I just got that. Was a true deity among magicians. The creator god who gave birth to magic and illusions that defied our very imaginations. I was so little when I last saw one, but I still remember his shows. He did wheelies in a sports car through the air above the audience, and then sped off to outer space faster than the speed of sound. For 7 long years, the world has been waiting for a miracle to match his. As heir to the Gramarye troop secrets, it falls to me to provide one. It's my God-given destiny. Yes, you nameless face who speak for the nameless masses, how can I help you? If the world was waiting, why did you hold off for 7 long years? It appears the lad is uninformed. Perhaps you have heard of the magic known as law, which governs our land? I have, though I'm not sure it qualifies as magic. The performance of the Magnifie's miracle was impossible. A certain law prevented it for 7 years, but no more. Interesting. And why was that? A little matter called performance rights, Miss Trucy. Can you tell us about these performance rights? Magnifie's magic relied on an incredibly innovative idea, a trick, if you will. That trick was considered his property and as such was protected by property laws. Intellectual property, IP, maybe. Magnifie knew this and bequeathed it in his will to one person. You mean him? Yes, Miss Trucy, it was your father. Zach Gramarye was the inheritor of the Gramarye miracle. Daddy? Yet, as you well know, he is gone. He disappeared suddenly 7 years ago. Once a person is classified missing for a certain period of time, they're considered legally deceased, correct? In all absoluteness, those rolled-up sleeves conceal your confidence well, young man. That certain period of time of which you speak is 7 years. Yes, Miss Trucy, though it pains me to say it, this past spring, April to be precise, was the time your father was legally declared deceased. In absence of a formal will, the secrets of the mighty mentor Magnifi passed to me. This was, in fact, stipulated in the will of Magnifi himself. Is that how it works, Apollo? Yep. It's called death in absentia. He's declared missing permanently. Daddy. It's actually true. That is actually an actual thing. Uncle from Nintendo told me that. I don't think we should be presenting evidence to him anyway. Right? I don't think we'll get anything out of right. So we probably should stop talking to him. Let a deadbeat father do whatever he wants. Go back to the detention center. Okay, can't do anything there. Move. Go to Drew's studio. Presents. And that's the signature of her dad. All right, so I feel like it has to be this. But what am I missing? What am I missing in terms of evidence? I looked at this. I looked at this. I looked back at this? No, it can't be this because these are all. If it was something, it would have been red. And I looked at this already. I looked at everything here. Right? Okay. Presents. I don't know. We have the business card. Okay. Brute force this a smidgen. Okay. She wants us to do brute pay. Wants us to do what's it called? Brute paying for that. Okay. We talked about this one already. We talked about the hidden painting. We talked about okay, so all the paintings are good. Okay. We talked about a coffee cup. About this mug. The pale blue residue on the rim. Yes, well, it's just a rumor. But I've heard there's a kind of coffee called Blue Mountain. I'm pretty sure it isn't actually blue, Emma. Ah, right. Okay, you got me. That's right, we didn't talk about the mug, did we? We got so engrossed with the painting and the other stuff. That's left over from my testing spray. Forensic science. I knew your hobby was behind this somehow, Emma. It's not a hobby. So what kind of scientific stuff were you up to? This spray is what it turns blue when it touches poison. So the poison that killed the victim was on this mug? That's right, see, it wasn't in the coffee. The killer applied it to the rim of the mug itself. Wow, science is amazing. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. They say fire will get you everywhere. Okay, so basically, once again, about the poison analysis. I was afraid you were going to ask about that. See, this solution is used to test for atroquinine. Atroquinine, the deadly poison found in the autopsy. It's one of the most virulent? Yeah. Poisons, but absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. Oh, and guess what? Recent research has shown. That's fine, really. We don't need to know all the gory details. I think I get it. You just spray this stuff on something you want to test, right? Precisely. You can find even the slightest trace of poison with this. I want to try it too, Emma. Pretty please? You don't have to ask twice. I already used it on everything suspicious, of course. Yay, let's give it a whirl, Apollo. Why are you spraying me? Seeing if I got a reaction off of you. How's this gonna be good for a reaction? Never do that again, I'm not poisonous. That led to those hapless witnesses on the stand. Alright, go. Alright. Okay, so nothing here. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay, nothing there. Okay, now we start with the real shit. Just gonna pop that. Nothing? What? I'm confused. I thought I was for sure this damn thing. I'm not getting a single hit? What the fuck? What? Oh, are you kidding me? I remember just remembering this wrong. And there's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Nothing here. There's nothing on this thing. It's nothing on the actual fucking mug itself. Too bad, no reaction there. I'm sure Emma checked out all the likely spots. Wait a second. What is it, Apollo? Did you spray that little desk over there? I don't think so. The spray can't probably reach that far, you know. Let's check it out, just to be sure. Oh my fucking god. A reaction, Apollo. Where? Where? The inside of that cute little frame. Look. Well, would you look at that? Nice going, Trucy. I'm known to work magic. Why would the inside of that frame have poison on it? So, Emma, I was wondering, what's the story about this reporter that came here for a story the night of the crime? I'm afraid I can't tell you because he's going to be a witness tomorrow, I hear. Thought so. I'll never forget that face, but what was his name? Oh, right. Bushel. He's after a scoop to sell the papers. So a reporter comes for an interview with a painter. Oops. His first interview ever, and that night he's killed. Seems strange to you? I paused for a second and let some stuff go on in the background. Really strange. It does raise a few questions. I'd like to speak with this reporter if I could. Well, I hear he's on the beat today too. He said something about it covering a magician. Magician? Well, if it's not Trucy, that leaves only one other person. It wasn't Valent Gremory by any chance, was it? Yeah, something like that. He's got some big show lined up, I hear. Looks like I'll be heading out to that Coliseum again sooner than I thought. Here, I'll give you that reporter's card if you want. Freelance journalist. Looks like we're going back over to the Coliseum. Okay. A journalist was here on a story. All eyes in the universe are upon my stage. All pens seek to commit its mysteries to paper. His name was Blushel. I think he remembers him. He doesn't look too happy about it. Brushel, that cloying smell of mint when he smiles, yes. Could you tell us more about him? What did he want? A man by that name called on me just now. Just now? Valent's vision is always toward tomorrow. Valent's feet step always freedom forward. That is all. That's all? Very confusing. I have to perform a big magic show, yes? I wanted someone to cover it. Yeah, he had ears only for that incident. That incident? In any case, I requested that the rapacious reporter remove himself. But Painter has died, what of it? It is but a footnote in the footlights compared to the magic of Gramarye. Uncle Valent, do you know where the reporter went? I recommended he visit that place properly with penalized perpetrators. Hello, Basket63. Welcome on in. He was a rude individual. Might I see that card? Sure. He would tear apart my respectability. I would tear apart him. Oh, here comes Apollo. Uncle Valent's big magic trick. Is he going to fix the card? What happened to the big magic? Is it not more miraculous for it to stay ripped? Okay, this journalist must have really picked this guy off. Now the time has come for when I must return to make my prestidigitation preparations. Prestidigitation, like that spell that you see in, what's it called? Which case is this again? Is this the last one? I played this 2 years ago. This is technically it's the last episode, but it's the first case in the last episode. And then you get the flashback case, which happens in this episode. But yeah, it's the last case, we'll say. By your leave, Miss Trucy. Thanks, Uncle Valent. 3 days from now, make ready for a miracle. What do you think that journalist was after? And why did Valent react like that to this envelope? I think it's time to pay the detention center another visit. I love this one, even for what? Oh, I've done this one. I know that I'm in for a ride. I have completed already in previous playthroughs, like off stream, all of 1 through 5, and then I did the first case and like I want to say half of a case. The first 1.5 cases of Ace Attorney 6, Spirit of Justice, and then I kind of fell off. Which this time I'll get through it though, because now I have the Apollo Justice trilogy. But yeah, I do remember this being a really good case. I think I hear what you're saying. We're doing it for the money, end quote. No, not at all. Looks like someone's already meeting here. Cool, I finished A6 last night. Oh, cool. That one and the Great Ace Attorney games, only 3, well, not counting the Layton, what's it called? Collab? What are they collab? That's what I'm looking for. The Layton spinoff, I guess a collab. The Layton collab, the Great Ace Attorney games, which also half I need to play through, and then Ace Attorney 6 are the only games I haven't beaten. Before, like a couple years ago, I didn't beat Ace Attorney 2. Oh, that's what he looked like. Oh. I didn't beat Ace Attorney Investigations 2, but I beat that last year. So that knocked out another one of the ones. So I'm more than halfway done with the series. Hey there, how you doing? Who you might you be? Sorry, we didn't know someone was already here. I'm Apollo Justice, Attorney at Law. Oh, I forgot about this guy. You're Justice? You know me? Do I know you? Of course I know you. Stares down witnesses on stand till they spill beans, end quote. I haven't played AI or the Great Ace Attorney yet. I'm not playing Professor Layton though, I hated it. Aww. I like the puzzles. I fall off that a little bit too, but I like the puzzles in that. But I can understand though. There's also some hard puzzles in that. I use hints a lot in those games. The third game was also the first game ever to like make me like tear up. I think ever make me tear up. No, Ace Attorney Investigations is really good. The first Ace Attorney Investigations is really it's like the best example as one of the good. Both of them are really good examples of like using all of their cases to like good effect of like having everything like work together. Especially the first game, like all the cases take place over the span of like a week. And then the second game is really good at building on the things of the first game. And has some really good twists and stuff. Stuff I called, but still, good twists. Are you a reporter by any chance? You're Trucy. Huh? Am I famous? Oh yeah. Trucy Wright hates carrying a bag. Puts everything she owns in her panties. End quote. That's so not true. You sure about that? Just holding on to your breeches there. I'll stop interrupting your game. Oh no, it's fine. I can go back and forth. I'll wrap this up in an interview in a jiffy. Interview? So guard, I think I know what's going on here. Guarding rooms is my life. What else could I possibly need? End quote. No, how many times do I have to tell you this? Look, I've got work to do. You deal with him. Did you come here to interview the guard? Ooh-wee, what a pickle. Accused wouldn't talk, had to interview someone or go home crazy, end quote. Huh. I should have guessed. Where's my manners? Name's Brushel, Spark Brushel. Huh, maybe it's because you look like a fucking brush? I'm not picky. Journalist closes eyes, writes, end quote. So you've been interviewed by me, you don't know what enthralling is. Wild romp through crossroads of mayhem, madness, end quote. I can see that. Okay. So, Mr. Brushel, you're a journalist? Me? Look, let me state one thing for the record here. Yes? I'm the interviewer, you understand, yeah? I'm the one asking the questions here, end quote. Okay. For instance, you think a movie director watches movies? Yes, I think he probably does. Exactly, I knew you'd understand. What is it? Okay. So the night of the murder, you were at Drew's studio? Who, me? Look, let me state one thing for the record. Yes, I'm really calm and collected, but I'm busy, real busy, always on the road. Journalist always buys one-way tickets, never looks back, end quote. I can understand that philosophy, but you want to know the thing about one-way tickets? Once you use them, they're gone. All because you have to give them to the guy at the airport. True enough, but don't they give normal tickets away too? Exactly, see? It's the same thing. What is? Bro, your analogies don't make any sense. So you went to do a story on Drew Mission. I hate all the creeps in this game, including this guy, but the theme that plays goes so hard. Oh, this one? Yeah. Yeah, this guy is creep. This guy, the hottie clinic guy who shows up again in this. Yeah, he never have a story done about him before. That's right. Look, let me state one thing for the record here. What? I'm sure you're going to want to know about my source. What tipped me off to Drew? Why the interview in the first place? Well, yes. Look, it's like, oh, I've got it. Say there's this burger joint with fabulous ketchup. Okay. You think the burger guy is gonna tell you where he got it? At the supermarket, maybe. Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. Well, there's nothing I can talk about, really. Walls have ears, eyes, especially glass walls with speakers, end quote. Right, guess we'll leave then. But since you're here, might as well tell you a tidbit of news I saw, just for the heck of it. Might as well tell you a tidbit of news I saw just for the heck of it. Sure, tell us, just for the heck of it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'd seen a movie on a trip and wandered into this burger place with an amazing ketchup. An article in a tabloid caught my eye. Famous oil painting stolen from art dealer's gallery, end quote, I believe it was. An oil painting happens every day, right? But I thought I'd seen that painting somewhere before. A painting of a giant peach floating down a river. Interesting. Dude, what is up with your fucking nose? Journalists can smell scoop better than burgers, end quote. Okay. So let's present one of these two and see if we get a response. Ah, right, let me go on the record here. Yes? I know what you're going to say. Russell, take this, write brilliant column. End quote. I don't think so. Look, buddy, I write brilliant columns about one thing. And that's food. Try to understand. What the what? Whoa! Makes sense! Okay. Interesting. You're not gonna bite about all these. Okay. You're not gonna talk about anything. Interesting. Okay. Alright, well, I'll trust you on one more thing. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna present anything to this guy at this current moment. Alright. We're gonna go back to Drew's studio. And my hunch is correct. Oh, well, definitely something new. Well, how'd it go? Find anything out? Actually, there was one thing I wanted to check with you. What's with that scary face you're making? What's with that I know something but I'm not telling face you've got going, Emma? Okay. Presents. Oh, this painting. Okay. This painting came from behind that dresser. Ah, yes, so? It was stolen, no? I was hoping you wouldn't figure that out. Do you think you can tell us about this? I suppose it's what you think. Drew Misham was a forger. A forger? Like from Spy Family? So what exactly is a forger? Well, basically, it's someone who makes forgeries. Fakes, in other words. Fakes? Copies of an original. Exact copies, so precise you can't tell them apart. Well, why not just photocopy them? The big problem with forgeries is that people try to sell them as a real article. It's a crime, of course. So Drew Misham was a criminal? I'm afraid so. He received money to create elaborate forgeries. To supplement his work in illustration, I guess. I see, actually. That's why I brought this here in the first place. What do you mean? When you're trying to determine if a painting is a forgery, the rough sketch underneath can be a valuable clue. So the rough sketch is like practice for the real thing. I like doing a magic trick in front of a mirror before you go on stage. But not in the case of a forgery. Not necessarily anyway. You know what the finished product is going to look like after all. Oh yeah, I guess you would. That's why I brought this. I'm going to use it to see what's underneath the painting of the finished pieces. Not that I really needed to go to such lengths, seeing how as one of the paintings was only half finished anyway. Still, it'd be neat to see Mr. Misham's rough sketches. Kind of like how he was drawing when he thought no one was looking. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. I remember! Flattery will get you everywhere, they say. Ooh. I want to see the rough sketch underneath this painting. And I was wondering if your tool there might do the trick. Oh, fine, fine. Just this time, though. Let's check it out. I remember, because it's like the kind of, it's a what the fuck moment of, how would these things be under this painting? If I remember correctly. What the fuck? Let's put this one out. Case 1. What the heck? Wow, he really blows. The finished painting isn't anything like the rough. Devices like mine didn't exist until recently. He probably thought he could draw any sort of thing he wanted to for the rough. What do you mean? Well, in the past, you could only analyze the composition of a rough sketch. Composition? In other words, the traces of the charcoal between paint and canvas. So you could tell if there had been a rough sketch, but not what it looked like. Ah, I think I follow you. So in essence, it wouldn't matter what was underneath the finished painting. Some pros would actually paint out a rough sketch entirely, then do a completely new painting on top of that. So Mr. Mission was drawing whatever he wanted before painting over them? Possibly. Is there a problem with that? Something about the sketch is kind of odd. You're awfully silent all of a sudden, Apollo. You think we could check out one of the other paintings? Well, sure. You like this detection stuff, don't you? Okay, so we did that one, so now this one. Where'd it go? Was it this way or that way? Okay, other way. Okay. Is it the car, I think? Oh no, it's the cart. Okay. I thought it would be the car, because that would kind of make sense narratively. Okay, let's put this one out. This one too. What's wrong, Apollo? You look so serious all of a sudden. You think I can just look at the last one of these? Fine by me, knock yourself out. And then we know what this one's gonna be. This was a big what the fuck moment for me when I first played this. I was like, what the hell is going on in this case? Yep. Let's put this one out. What the heck is all this? I hesitated to ask why you're getting so excited. You sure your device isn't leaking some kind of strange radiation? Trucy, look at these 3 sketches. Do you notice anything? Yep. There. Now you're both white as sheets. What's going on? These sketches of the 3 cases I worked on. What? The murder in the poker room and the Borch Bowl Club. The dead man pulling the noodle stand. And then the events that transpired during the Gaviniers concert. What could it mean? How could he have drawn those things? And why? That's what I want to know. Wait, is Drew Misham your father? Give me a break. Does that even make even remotely possible to you? Just who was this Drew Misham, and what did he have to do with me? Yes. All right, we're gonna take a small break for a second here. I'll check out something food-wise. Okay, we're back. Alrighty then. Or maybe I'll edit that in post, or I'll put one of those like YouTube chapter things on this one and be like break time and have it be like 10 minutes or whatnot. Go on to the next chapter. Yes, we will. I'll also come back with more food. Some good food. Oh yeah, let's get checked. Alright. The veggies I had just before this too? Okay. Good morning. So you're Vera, right? I'm Chusi. Chusi right. That's right with a W, but not right, right? Right. We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please. Good morning. He talks. Not bad, not bad. But I think you do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know? Chusi, let's take it easy for starters. We'll get her a smile by the end of this, like, case or something. I don't know. Thank you for taking my case. Food in my mouth. Alright. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Want to try? Oh, really? Girls. Hey, let them have this. Okay. Okay. A life of crime really puts more suspects on his side. We will now begin the trial of Vera Misham. Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy and he's looking all around, all nervous like. The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time. Oh, he's nervous. It may indeed alter our legal system forever. Today is the test of the jury system, and the first step toward a new order in our courts. Daddy's secret mission. The jurors will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurors in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. The jurors have access to everything that transpires. Jurors, judge well and judge cool. Now see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was gonna say that. My apologies there, Judge. Jurors, today, judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would. The victim is the painter Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham. There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Chung, someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. The mug, residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner in which our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. Okay, hold on. According to this report, which we're about to look at right now. Do this with one hand. Okay, 52 male, October 6th, 9 to 9:30, atropine poisoning. Okay. The victim's death was caused by atropine poisoning, a chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. A touch of atropine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. Okay. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. You may present your witness. Take a bite of my food. Fucking Rudolph over here. My name is Spark Brushel. My name is a lone observer of the world. In other words, a freelance journalist, right? If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brushel? I dislike conclusions, specifically the aspect of jumping to conclusions. Preconceptions make park a sandbox of endless desert waste. End quote. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today, a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel. End quote. Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? For me, the jury is still out. That's a cool line from you, Apollo. Let's keep that up. I visited the studio around 9 p.m. or 9 o'clock that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the Adelaide. I think I said that right, Adelaide. Journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time. Okay, alright. It does sound like a simple case, unless you were the one who poisoned him. What are you saying? Judge, Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today. I felt the need to be a bit dramatic. You didn't do it, did you? You do anything like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Nightcrawler. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote. Rock indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him. Congrats. Congrats. Amazing. You did great. Amazing. Well, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please. Yep. What's this about, Starfall? Excuse me. Starfalls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Starfalls! A star is not falling today. Send money over. Zowie, you don't know. That's like a journalism code word. An important person passes away. A star falls. Get it? There's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter? It matters to me. Oh boy. This is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know, star dies. Nah, lacks imagination. Of course, you can go with Drew dies, straight to the point. I like it. Oh, the moment of death. But when Mr. Mission passed away, oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffin mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then, when the cold finger of death touches his spine, life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was the touch he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, life's flame was a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go. I think he's started his article already. To describe that a little more simply. Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. He hit the floor. Next thing you know, he died. Artist seizure is final. A performance, end quote. Atropine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow. The limbs tremble, and that's quite enough of that. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details. For that, you can listen to last year's hit single, Astroquinine My Love by the Gavineers, available at all major music outlets. The point here is that the victim died of atropine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony? Honestly, not that... I took the court record. found on the cup rim. Not that important. The Mr. death would be important, but Mr. Buster's story didn't really tell us anything we didn't already know. Okay, so let's go back to that. I think it's something to do with. I think I got stuck on this when I first played this, like a decade ago or something, even more than that probably at this point. Something about coffee. You actually see him drink the coffee. Of course. Okay. Still eating, but okay. Hold on. Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable? He put him drink his coffee, then immediately fell over. Oh yes, you can go press with that one. Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Doesn't atropine take like 15 minutes to activate? Slow acting deadly poison. He was added to the testimony. The witness will add to this testimony. Right. Okay. So let's present the cup because it's slow acting. Woo! I have surpassed my younger self. I am smarter now. Because I've beaten this game before. I understand now. You made me care now. You know what I have a problem with? The particular property of the poison used, atropine. Oh, Professor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.02 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. Yes, okay. If you drink that, even you, Mr. Joseph, reduced to a quivering pile. Yes, that's true. Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission? Atropine is as violent as he says. But death doesn't come upon ingestion, not immediately. That's because atropine is a slow acting. Slow acting? What? According to one forensic scientist, it's one of those most violent poisons, but it is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped this coffee was when he sealed his fate, that he would have still have had time left to enjoy his last cup of joe. Dude, look at this guy. He's built like a fucking stick. Order. What's the meaning of this? And what the defense says is correct, why, that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard. Well, Mr. Busher, anything to say on the record? Slow acting. Slow act. It was a violent, right? Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist. He's working on his scoop. Objection! Alright, let's go, Gavin. Give me whatever is opposite. It's Brusho, yeah? Yeah, Brusho. Let's take a trip back down memory lane. Huh? Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital. You know what I think? No. I think it was not so subliminal suggestion. End quote. I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I'd be forced to say off-Riderson. What? How do you say that? Off-wide. Auf Wiedersehen to my simple case. I should learn some German. And you'll be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a good story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent, and you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop, scoop, scoop. What is up with this guy? Look, wait, just wait a second. Just 1 second. We're waiting. Out with it. Like I just recalled a so-called important detail. Were you admitting? Come on, you motherfucker. Oh, okay, woof. A revival recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote. Attorney, utterly confused, end quote. Streamer also confused, end quote. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I'd heard of a poison that takes its sweet time, see? But that, not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say. Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. Neither do I, end quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. Order, order, order. As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony that Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank. Of course I'm standing by my testimony, and my dream of exclusive rights to this story. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Him? Phoenix right, who else? Akchong Airbusher, report for us if you would. What is it that you noticed? This court is a critical tile of the juris system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. Testimony round 2. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? Oh, God. A suicide note? Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide, poor Mr. Misham. But that means Vera's innocent. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Oh. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay, alright. Let's see where we're going with this. You should be writing a letter, but quickly sealed the envelope. So you put the letter away when he saw you? Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? Mr. Misham sure seems to think so. You should have seen him. He's probably like, what the hell? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, I gotta work. A work text. Okay, we're good. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice? Yes, it does. Add to testimony. The defense finds this testimony vital, Your Honor. Very well, please add it to the testimony then. Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. No, bitch, it was red. Objection! Okay. As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene, in a red envelope. What are you, a fucking cartoon character? What are you? Prosecutor Gavin. Yes. Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no. But air forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. I guess, but not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Bushel, I can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to get that letter in an envelope, pronto. Get out of sight of my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and cramped away. Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. It's possible. It's entirely possible. But Apollo, we checked the contents of the envelope yesterday, didn't we? Oh, you're right. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope with the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? Oops. Probably Emma's gonna be in the doghouse. Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Well, he still could be putting it back in the envelope. Why would he address the letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself. You've been scooped. You've been smeckledorfed. Order, order, order. Oh. Mr. Bushel, can you explain this to the court? Oh, my. I could have forgotten. Suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots. End quote. I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Bushel. Well, that's the thing, see? Oh god, this music. After he puts his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp. End quote. A stamp, whatever for. Well, to mail his letter, what else? And then, why yes, I think I saw him put it in his letterbox. Yes, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that box. Well, apparently, this yellow letter has nothing to do with this case. Oh, how I wish it did. Just think if it had been a suicide note, what a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter falls, end quote. As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said, yes, Your Honor, it makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. There we go. Huh. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. So this was from 7 years ago, yeah? So am I finished here? I mean, am I finished here? I was thinking of, you know, going home to start writing. I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that rather unique face. Come on. Attorney has active imagination, little else, end quote. Even I noticed something and my eyes aren't what they used to be. You know, I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about. Judge has active imagination, end quote. Please continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story. I'm the one asking the questions here, usually. But... Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably has something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. So you threatened to go to the press with this story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail? Well, yes. I mean, no. It wasn't exactly black. I mean, I'm not... Oh, something wrong, Mr. Bushel? Look, this is my story, my tidbit. Journalist interview info is livelihood, end quote. I see. While you have me chatting away in here, what's going on out there? Well, if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story, they could be going to press while I'm going to waste. The court feels your pain, Mr. Bushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace. Wait, 7 years ago? I knew it had something to do with this. Here again. Again. Here again. Here again. Again! And again! And again! And again! What is... Pass. This one's actually a tough one. This is a toughie. I'm professed on this one. A certain case 7 years ago. Tell us what case. Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. Journalists reveal sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what it would be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. Okay. The chances of breaking his will aren't looking good. Alright, this is gonna be tough. Alright. On one hand, we have your story. On the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related? I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You're gonna pick all of them apart? Yes. Be my guest. She only chose talent as one without a pair. Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent? Huh? Ooh-wee, boy, I mean, hey, he's a star, man, a star. The flow of his brushes like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artist paints light up, studio like sun, end quote. Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. The testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. All makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have something good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Okay. If it's about the art. Again. I know there's one of someone. Alright, gal. I remembered. Gotcha! I remembered. I knew there was at least one perceive in this game that had to do with someone's armpits getting stained. Sweaty. Man can't help its glands, you know? It's more than that. When Mr. Missum's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent. What? This happens to have evidence showing the talent mentioned in the letter. This painting was found in Mr. Missum's studio. That's right. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There are two problems with this painting. The first is that it wasn't painted by Mr. Missum. Maybe he bought it for fun. You know? Maybe he, even though it was stolen, maybe he bought it thinking it wasn't stolen, you know? That's always a possibility, right? Oh, food is done. The second is that though there is another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one. Except it was only half done. Then we have the letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Bum bum. That is all, Your Honor. Everyone, please, everyone. Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop. Forgery, that's a serious crime. Drew Misham is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art meaning forgery? Drew Misham was talented, alright, and ended up making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago. 7 years ago? So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for, exactly, forged evidence nets tidy profit, end quote. Order, order, order! Why, it's like a victim was living a double life. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation. But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a real possibility of some illegal activity there. But there is no proof tying this letter to our case. Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course. Hey, 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 the only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing in reviews. Mr. Brusher, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen. What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism is so solid you can stand an elephant on it. End quote. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we could ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial was over. Apollo, what's he talking about? The cross-examination showed Mr. Bushel didn't have reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera. That's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Mr. Bushel, your testimony, please. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug, and nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. A nice testimony, clear as it slipped and without room for doubt. Aw, shucks. You really think so? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination. Right. The only person in the studio that night was the defendant. The player who poured the coffee, she's made as much herself. The only thing that touched his lips during the interview was that mug. You're sure about that? Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. One of those candies might have been poisoned. Okay, that's dumb. Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room, and no mint residue was found. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof... Mr. Misham ingested that poison via route other than that coffee. Proof is possible. Oh, excellent. Let's see your proof then. Please show us your evidence. What evidence shows that the victim wasn't poisoned via his coffee mug? Take that! Must I explain this over and over again? We don't need possibilities here, Forehead. We need proof. I know that. You should all know that every proof has its moment. Perhaps you're a bit early. I can tell you what we know at this point. The victim put nothing into his mouth but that coffee mug. And nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. We know something left. Not one thing, you're sure? Yep, as sure as can be. Well, with one exception. One exception, what? Journalist Spark Brushel does interview, leave studio. End quote. Aha, come on. It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still. Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? Just one thing. I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean something other than our witness? Of course. Don't tell me. Vera Misham? Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you, but I do have evidence that shows that how it could have been taken from the scene. This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox. What did Mr. Bushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in the yellow envelope and put it in that letterbox. Ah, but that very same letter was empty. In other words, that night, the yellow envelope disappeared. Yes, intriguing, so an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? He has a point, Air Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that the envelope the witness says he saw us disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave that studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well then, the witness will add this to his testimony. You got it. I still think it fails to change anything here, forehead. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly an opening I've been looking for. Nothing could be more serious than the envelope disappearing from that studio, and you were hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually. I don't argue the possibility of that letter disappearing from that studio. There, forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Just much change, which means the facts of the case have two, and what he's told us means something entirely different now, I'm starting to think. Let's keep thinking, Apollo. Risking it? No. Okay, I was wrong. First hit of the first penalty of the case. Let's go. I know I need to go with this. Okay. Could try this. Okay, so it's not this. All right, we're not supposed to do this yet. All right. Okay.
Objection!
Mr. Mission just the poison view other than the coffee. I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. I saw him writing a letter, I did, which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course, which means the envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp, As we all know, stamps come with dry glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp.
Objection!
But no one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Okay, so he licked the stamp, but wait. How does that explain the atropine on the rim of the coffee mug? If he licked the back of a poisoned stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth, Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing, it was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Misham. Mr. Misham poisoned the coffee mug himself. Not on purpose. Order, order, order! But that does it? Recall, if you would, atropine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison enters the body when he put the stamp on that envelope, but his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. You have something to add, Mr. Bushel? As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, okay. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe he just run out? Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps, not a single one. That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp? Well, that certainly is a cute little frame, and by little I mean really little. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I had noticed that too during my inspection, so what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. Missing something? Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Astraquinine residue. What? Why wasn't I told about this? The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most. You aren't saying... Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps? Order, order, order! The poison stamp was in this frame? Impossible. Prosecutor Gavin, why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he can commit suicide if the mood struck. You know, can I say something? I had a thought, see? What, Mr. Bushel? And please stop journeying around like that. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends and makes enemies too, end quote. So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him. Oh, rich. That's rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gavanier's song lyrics, please. The stamp was a murder weapon? Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree. Come again? Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew Missum hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail! Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet but you knew read letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence that this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling. I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Misham was killed. Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice. A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Misham the stamp of death. Isn't this the envelope? The one from 7 years ago? Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This was page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor. In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, the poison on the stamp, lick, lick, gasp, end quote. Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter asked? He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then we would put it in his letterbox. 15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter, but the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. And the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system. Such a splendid imagination you have, Airforehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago. Yeah? Is that what you'd have us believe, really? Well, is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility. Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poison stamp in this envelope, a stamp that then became the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence? You don't know who sent that letter, and your answer is silence. I see. Very well. I move to. It's not nice to pick on the Fraulein Klavier. Emma. Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression, did I sound like him? Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fraulein, detective? Fraulein. Someone had to come dig you out of this mess you're making up this case. Mess? You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little more. If you could find out if that stamp was in that envelope, easy. Here to explain yourself, Fraulein detective? Blame me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right? That's right, the poison detection spray. Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court. Fucking easy. GG easy. Wow, would you look at that? No mistaking it. That's atroquinine residue. I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last. Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? Well, there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Mishram figured it out. Figured what out? He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead, so he sent his reply with a different stamp. And put his decisive evidence in a frame. You're still here? Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spark Razor to the Russell, claim this scoop as mine. Drew Mishram killed in cold blood. By sender of 7-year-old letter. End quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay. End quote. Order, order, order! I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit this is all coming quite a shock. I think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Stamp his ticket straight to afterlife. End quote. Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge. I see no need to further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant. Apollo, I think we just won. Very well, this court finds the defendant. Is this the bright future of our legal system? Prosecutor Gavin? A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago. Tickets for Gavinier shows are invalid after 2 weeks. But it doesn't make sense any other way. It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Air Forehead's claim. A contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Mishram have done what he did? Emma explained that he must have realized it was poisoned. Therein lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Mishram sent a trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs the question, why 7 years later did he use that stamp on the night of the murder? Yeah, surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Mishram simply forgot. He put the murder weapon in the frame on the desk for 7 years and forgot? Do you expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? I mean, maybe it's possible he didn't know there was poison in there? While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall foul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years. Apollo, I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope? The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamped again? Have you brought it to the court for us? Oh, what do you mean? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed. What about the atrocanine residue, huh? Oh, I agree, that does seem to be atrocanine residue, but your forehead, it's certainly no stamp. Yeah, but what is it then? Even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Misham never would have used it. That is all. That's bullshit. I believe we've come to a conclusion again. Apollo, were we wrong the whole time? I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be a coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Misham received a red envelope. There were traces of a poison atrocanine on the document inside that envelope. A similar trace was also found on the crime scene. On this tiny picture frame, the defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it. Not just us, but also the witness has said, though. The witness the prosecution has given us has said there's a yellow envelope. So the prosecution can just be like, actually. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it on a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right, which means there's a fatal flaw in the defense's case. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Ah, a fake clue? Fascinating. If we were to find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than... The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand. I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself. Congratulations, you've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of the fake himself, the forger? It makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue. Think about it. Ah! I know that face. I just had an idea face. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going in with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? Come again? 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why? That's what I want to know. Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Here we are again. The victim was a fake? One forger smelled the trap. One forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake. I mean, my idea was kind of simpler, but we'll go with this. Order, order, order! So you're telling us that the Drew Misham, the victim, was a fake. Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Drew Misham was. There's only one other person. Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Misham was himself a forgery. The real forger was... How old is she? 19? She would have been 12? There would have only been one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Misham is none other than his only daughter, Vera Misham. Order, order, order! Mr. Justice, this is going out of a limb even for you. I kinda agree. I mean, Vera, a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery has been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who got caught in the trap wasn't the forger. Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense. One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Misham's and Vera Misham's. If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, That leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera Misham. Well, he's gonna be like, I knew that already, or some shit like that. Fascinating. Vera Misham, you've been paying attention to the trial so far? Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger Drew Misham? I'm used to being stared at by Farley. Oh, that's right, he's staring at him. That's right. I used to be staring at by Farley's, believe me. Though they usually talk to me. They usually talk to me too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art? Yes. We'll get back to that later while she was staring at him. So the forger, Drew Misham, was you? Yes, it was me. What? What? The court was in an uproar and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess. Whew. Okay, so where exactly does this leave us, Apollo? Well, the Drew Misham who was killed wasn't Drew Misham the forger, basically. Huh? Well then, who was he? Well, he was actually... So, you really made those forgeries? Yes. For father. I know, it was wrong. Could you tell us about how it happened? My father was a painter. I loved painting ever since I was a child. One day, father saw it in me. He saw that I had the talent. The talent for making forgeries? How should I say it? It was not only paintings I made. Given the materials, I could make anything. Anything? Father was so proud, and I so happy. But in the end, I was making those forgeries. I've never had a good constitution nor personality. I know very little of the world outside my door. Now, because of me, father is... Do you know about this red envelope? I remember that envelope. It was some time ago. So you were already creating your works back then? I started when I was only 12 years old. So the one who figured out the stamp was poisoned, that was... Mr. Justice, it's time. To the courtroom, please. But right. Wait, Vera, just one more thing, please. Those 3 paintings in the studio. I painted those as part of my work. Right. See, we checked them out and we saw that what was underneath. We saw the rough sketches underneath 3 finished paintings. I see. Mr. Justice. Yes? Father, he knew of you. Of both of you. You're late, Father. He was watching, gathering information. All about the Wright & Co. law offices. But lately, we're not doing just law. Yes, you do tricks, gags to amuse, and play piano. Well, they're not really gags. Yet when Father heard you had resumed the legal business, how pleased he was. Who was Mr. Misham? How am I supposed to know? What if he was Daddy's daddy? Judging from the relative ages involved, I'd say it's highly unlikely. We know the victim's daughter, Vera, was the forger. What does this mean for the case? Guess we're about to find out. I know exactly what Gavin's gonna do. He's gonna be like, she gave him a stamp that was poisoned and killed her still. It still was the murderer. Court is now back in session. Perhaps you could begin by telling us how it all worked. How did you set up this Drew Missum forger persona? I know it's hard for you, but hey, he's a handsome guy. What's hard? Very well, miss, if you would. Did you really make those detestable forgeries? Perhaps you'd rather answer my question. Were you the one who painted that painting, the remarkably similar one? Ah, yes. Father praised me quite highly for it. So she was the one who made the forgeries. Yet she did not wish to reveal the truth of their operation, so the victim was a stand-in, a decoy. To the world at large, he was the forger, not her. I've done a bad thing. I have, haven't I? Regardless, we need a little more information. About, for instance, this. You have seen this before, yeah? Yes, it was in the desk drawer. Very well, you may proceed with your testimony. Tell us everything you know about this envelope. Oh, I'm gonna move forward a little bit. I created things and Father sold them. This envelope came after my first work that was other than a painting. Father handled the deal, all of it. I received the stamp that was in that envelope. It was after that job that we moved to the current studio. There was certainly much of this great interest in your testimony. Now that the witness realizes it. Very well, please begin the cross-examination. Right, okay. In other words, I need to press a shit ton. Let's go! Okay, let's go. So, these things you were making are... You mean paintings identical to other paintings, right? The closer they were, the happier Father was. I was happy too. Still, you're quite young now. Where did you begin this work? My first painting sold when I was 12. Your Honor, she had no idea what she was doing was illegal. Easy there, little attorney. You're not here to defend her for the crime of forgery. True. Please tell us more about this envelope. This envelope that may very well have killed your father. Alright. By other than a painting, you mean you'd only done paintings up to that point? Yes. But Father had a realization. He noticed my talent extended to making things other than paintings. For instance, a letter someone had written, or a fingerprint left upon a cup, or a signature on a document, a seal upon a letter. And these $100,000 promised in this letter was the start, to beginning the new industry of Drew Missum. A new industry? The creation of items to be used in criminal proceedings. Forging evidence, in other words. So you didn't know how things you were making were being used. I enjoy painting very much. I think I understand. The Fraulein has lived in an unusual little world. Can you tell us what happened to the papers that were in this envelope? Father signed them and sent them back, I believe. Did he follow the instructions? Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp. This is a rather important matter. Give your answer some thought. I received the stamp that was in that envelope. What do you mean you received it? Did I do something wrong? You didn't use that stamp because it was dangerous, correct? Deadly poison on the back. Atropine. One moment, forehead. You can't force an answer upon the witness. Yep. Now then, perhaps you would tell me, Fraulein Vera? Fraulein. Oh, why did you receive this stamp? Is something wrong? It was beautiful. Ah, you mean it was one of those commemorative stamps? Yes, I think it was. So, you didn't know about the poison? So the trap failed by chance, by mistake, thanks to this commemorative stamp. Quite the close call. It was after the job. You mean you moved to where the current Drew studio is? Yes, we saw very few people there. I began drawing picture books. This single job had tied them to the criminal underworld. I think Mr. Mission wished to reduce their visibility in the world at large. When we had to meet someone for some reason, Father posed as the creator of the work. So that was the real essence of the artist Drew Misham. You did the work and he supplied the face. So, you really didn't know anything, did you? You had no idea how much danger you were in. Apparently not. About this commemorative stamp, could you tell us more about it? It was very pretty, and more than that, yes, it was a picture of people I liked at the time. Apparently, we've gotten some cross-examination yet ahead of us. If you would be so kind as to continue your testimony, Fraulein. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magician, so I kept it. Magicians? I love mysterious things, I always have. Even though she fainted when she saw Mr. Hat. You're confusing mysterious with freaky. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. See? Isn't magic great? Fine, great, yeah, sure, no need to get all excited. But the magic troupe we saw disbanded soon after. I was quite sad. Magic troupe. Now, where have I heard that before? Okay, that makes a letter from a client, whoever she wanted the portrait made. We're close, we just have to piece together the parts. The other weapon was in a red envelope, the path that took Drew Missim's life. Okay. Those magicians you liked, was it this bunch? Apollo, they're not a bunch. I see. Still, I have to wonder. Why include a commemorative stamp like that in a business letter? Good question. Well, pretty stamps are always better and you can't beat true gramarye. But the whole murder plan was a failure because of it. Ironic, don't you think? Prosecutor Gavin? Oh, he knows. He fucking knows, Prosecutor Gavin. Gramarye. Might I ask just one question of this witness? In your testimony just now, you stated this was your first work that was other than a painting. Please tell me, what exactly did you make? Can I ask why? No. Answer the question. Now. Prosecutor Gavin, you are usually not the one whose volume concerns me. Yes, it is unbecoming of me, I apologize. But I must know. Please, Miss Missum, tell me. It was a book. A single page in a book. A book? Please be more specific. It was a handwritten book. Like a diary. Ooh, you realize you got fucked. I don't know. It was at that moment that Klavier realized everything wrong. What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks like he just saw a ghost. Miss Misham, this book. Was there a picture of a silk hat on the back cover? Yes or no? How did you know? Prosecutor Gavin, the defendant is answering all of your questions. Stop badgering her. He's told you nothing, has he? Your soiled, sullied mentor, nothing? Sullied, who? Phoenix Wright, who else? Daddy? He never told you about the trial 7 years ago? About how he came to lose his attorney's badge? There was a certain piece of evidence that decided his fate, you know. A certain diary. On the back, it bore the mark of a silk hat. What? Vera, you must tell us. The evidence you made was used in the trial 7 years ago. Who asked Drew Misham you to forge that evidence? For all of our sakes, who was it? We only met once. You met the client? Well, who was it? It was... What's going on with Vera? She's staring at Prosecutor Gavin's face again. Yes, what? Is there something about me? I remember clearly. I remember who gave me the book, the diary. Who was it? Vera. The devil. Let's go! Let's fucking go! Defendant Vera Misham, condition unconscious. Examiner's diagnosis, acute atropine poisoning. This ends the recording of the trial for the murder of Drew Misham. Vera Misham was, during the trial, poisoned by an unknown assailant. The dosage was just under the lethal amount, sparing the defendant's life, thank God. He is currently in the intensive care and is not to be disturbed for any reason. A very simple case at first glance, until it finally began to show its true colors. The long road to the truth takes us to the record of another trial. In some ways, that was the starting point of it all. And that is where we must go to find the whole truth. And that ends the first part of the 3-part case. The 3-part episode. So this, and then tomorrow I'll just knock out all of that, and then next week we will finish this. But we're gonna end here, which is actually good enough time. Holy shit. I'll find someone to raid, probably. There we go. Put this into system settings and put this into sleep. And let us charge. Alright, who are we rating? Oh, yeah. But this is fun. Let's see. Oh, I supposed to have the crystal because Crystal's playing with Seer. I know the Seer pass dropped by earlier, so there we go. There we go. Let's see. So for this week, it's gonna be busy. I have a stream tomorrow for more Ace Attorney. We play through all of the flashback case, most likely during that time. It's only one court proceeding if I remember correctly. It's a long case though. And then on Wednesday we have Monster Hunter World. We'll probably playing that with some friends. And then Thursday is Mist, so 4 streams in a row already. That's gonna be fun. And on Saturday, if I'm still conscious after doing 4 streams in a row, I will be doing the small game called Star Seeker and the something. I can't remember the exact name on the top of my head. It's a small little mystery game that's actually like Ace Attorney inspired. Star Seeker and the Secret of the Sorcerer's Standoff. Yeah, that is. It's only like 2 hours long, supposedly, so we're not gonna off in one stream. That's the plan for this week. If you came to the stream, thank you for being here. I'll see you around tomorrow. Oh, also, if you watch the VOD, also, thank you. Anyway, bye.